concerning the Presidential Election Petition Court Tribunal. This breaking news is necessary because APC, INEC, Tinubu and Shettima Council have finally sent their final written addresses to the tribunal. Do not forget, when Labour Party's lawyers as well as P2B councils were tendering documents for different states where election took place at the tribunal, the respondents, which were APC, Tinubu and Kashim Shettima, as well as INEC councils, went further and objected the acceptance of this document. They stated clearly that they will give their reasons in their final addresses. This address has been sent to the tribunal by Tinubu's lawyer, and it contained in 10 pages. We will go further to give you transparency into this very new development. Do not forget that in the past we made a publications when there were speculations that INEC was trying to alter the presidential election result for Federal Capital Territory, which was indicated that INEC was trying to alter this result in order to give APC 25%, which is the constitutional requirement, even though it was clearly known by all Nigerians, to Nigerians home and abroad, that APC did not score 25% in the Federal Capital Territory. But in this final written address, it has been claimed that APC pulled 25% across 29 states. Interesting times are ahead. But this will not dispute the fact that it is only P2B in clarity that got 25% in FCT and across other 12 states in Nigeria. Before we progress further, we wish to bring to your notice that APC did not argue that they did not rig the election, but rather they argued that P2B rigged election in the southeastern part of Nigeria. When P2B now provided evidence of how APC even rigged him, P2B and Labour Party in the southeastern Nigeria, court went further to ask APC to provide evidence that P2B rigged the election in any part of Nigeria, only for APC to say that they do not have evidence. Interesting times are ahead, but the handwriting is boldly written that P2B will certainly reclaim his mandate. Let's take you on a journey. Now, going into the final written address that was submitted by APC one after another. In the final written address, APC, Tinubu and Kashim Shettima, lawyer, stated, "My Lord, the above document, which contains the ward collection result sheet for Ebonyi State, EC8B's local government collection result sheet, as well as for Ekiti State and Delta State, respectively." They went further to say that they noted from the tenor of the petition that the petitioners have not agitated any complaint in relation to the aforementioned states. They went further to say that it is complete negligence of the petitioners to argue this tribunal with tons of election materials thereof. Accordingly, we submit that the documents are not totally relevant to the inquiry which is being undertaken by this honorable court. Relevancy, as a matter of fact, is the bedrock of admissibility, such that any document that is irrelevant should therefore be disregarded. Summarily, I would say at this point that the respondents, which are APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima Council, are therefore saying that the ward collection result sheet for Ebonyi State, which contains the EC8B's local government collection result sheet for Ekiti State as well as that of Delta State, are irrelevant. And why did they say so? They said because Labour Party did not state the reasons why they are contested in court and therefore should be disregarded. This is one of the positions of APC on those documents. Similarly, the documents that were tendered from the IREV report from INEC for both Adamawa State, which was downloaded and certified by INEC, APC councils went further to object the admissibility of this document, stating that no certificate of authentication in compliance with Section 84(2) of the Evidence Act was produced at the point of tendering those documents. They went further to say that we therefore submit that the conditions spelled out are mandatory and cannot be waived out. In view of this, they stated that documents related to Form EC40G, Summary of Registered Voters or Polling Units, that election not held and cancelled for both Niger, Osun, Edo, Sokoto State, and EC8As for Ekiti and Ogun State. They submitted that having failed to ventilate any complaint on the presidential election which was held in the aforementioned state. They went further to say that the document tendered by the petitioners, which is Labour Party and P2B councils, serve no useful purpose and therefore are irrelevant to the case of the petitioner. And they went further to say that we accordingly adopt our earlier argument and urge this honorable court to reject the tendering of the said documents. Well, these are some of the extracts from the final written address that was tendered by APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima. But as usual, Labour Party will respond to this very claim appropriately, as the law requires. But I wish to also say at this point that this very claim made by APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima Council is actually laughable, because you will recall when INEC was very reluctant in producing all the documents that Labour Party and P2B were requesting from them. You will ask yourself, how could P2B and Labour Party have obtained the so-called certificate of authentication if it is not coming from INEC, when INEC is very reluctant to produce this document to Labour Party and P2B? Therefore, I would say that INEC, APC, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima Council are simply shooting themselves in the leg and indicting INEC the more. But the main fallout of the final written address that was tendered by APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima Council shows that INEC, in collaboration with APC, have finally changed the FCT result to falsify a record of 25% for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in FCT. This therefore would begin to compel a lot of Nigerians to ask questions. So, 25% requirement is actually a constitutional issue from FCT. Otherwise, why would INEC, in collaboration with APC, go further to alter and change the FCT result and subsequently now give Bola Ahmed Tinubu 25%, which every Nigerians know that Tinubu did not score 25% in the just concluded presidential election? Nigerians, I am very sure that many of you will recall when we shouted and cried out that INEC was changing the FCT result in favor of Tinubu. The game and the fight is still on. We are still at the tribunal and we will continue to follow this case head on. And we will continue to bring you up to speed what is trending at the Presidential Election Petition Court Tribunal. One thing also that is very laughable is that in that final written address, that the statement tendered by Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima Council on the use of BVAS machine in the just concluded election has simply thrown the BVAS machine into the dustbin. It means that BVAS has no relevance in the just concluded election. This breaks my heart, because as a patriotic Nigeria, and as well as many other Nigerians would ask, why then did Nigeria spend so much billions of dollars in introducing the BVAS machine, in conducting a free, fair, and a glitch-free election? It is indeed very laughable, and I am very sure that somebody like Bola Ahmed Tinubu will equally be disappointed at both INEC and his APC lawyers. Please don't forget to share and like this video, and we'll continue to bring you transparency on what's trending at the Presidential Election Petition Court Tribunal. And if this is your first time of coming across this